as a reporter, what is the difference in interviewing a willing participant versus somebody who's just there not to get fined?
Well, interviewing a willing participant is the dream. That's Jimmy Ward. That's Jaquiski Tartt. That's George Kittle. You don't have to work hard. You say very few words. You listen. You let them talk. You follow up. They're interested. It's a conversation, and and you're just directing them. They're doing all the work for you. And you're not trying to. The other one is awful. I mean, sometimes it can either be indifferent or hostile. Indifference tough because you feel like maybe I'm not doing a good job, and you start like talking and trying to, and that doesn't help. Right. You're just kind of filling silences with your words when you go back and listen. It's like, man, I'm talking. They're not. I don't get anything here. So that can be awkward. But the hostile ones are tough too. Like maybe they just don't like the media. Maybe they don't like you. I used to interview. I tried to interview like Michael Crabtree back in the day. He just didn't like the media at all. He didn't like the media.
Yeah.
So what he would do, he had these most passive aggressive moves. Like I'd be like, hey, Michael, can I ask you a couple of questions? And all of a sudden he would bend over and while standing, untie his shoes, like just face into the shoes. He'd be like, yeah, we can talk while I'm tying my shoes. And he'll answer a question whispering into his shoes. And I'm like, am I supposed to like put my microphone down? It's a little awkward. I guess he's telling me to go screw myself. Okay, thank you. And what you learn is like, okay, if I ever want to learn something about Michael Crabtree, I have to ask other people about Michael Crabtree because he doesn't want to talk. So it's like, all right, man, I get it. You don't want to talk. Fine, fair enough. I won't come back. That's what it can be like.
And you have to wonder, at least before where we are today, where it's becoming more normalized to talk about mental health and where we all are with social anxieties. You have to wonder if a lot of those players with the indifference part of it, if it isn't some mix of just not being comfortable in that setting, right? That particular example where you described that action from Michael Crabtree, that sounds like a sort of a nervous reaction. If it's not an intentional one to be like, hey, F you type of thing. Yeah. It sounds like a nervous reaction type of thing.
Right, because he's making it seem like I'm above you and I'm above this, but really it could be I don't want to do this. This makes me uncomfortable. You have the advantage here. I have the advantage on the field. You have the advantage verbally. I don't want to engage because I don't trust you. I don't know you, and you can make me look bad. Yeah. All that kind of stuff was at play, and I'm not judging him, but that's just what it feels like. It's like, oh, he's talking to his shoes. Maybe I should. Maybe this isn't gonna. Maybe I should just find another approach. Hey, you don't have to talk to your shoes. It's okay. I'll leave.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I wasn't trying to pull your teeth on this. It's cool. It was good to know.
Now with your let's say hot takes that you have had over your career, have you had many confrontational type of interviews? I mean, I would imagine that there have been at least some awkward moments.
I mean, I interviewed Eric Armstead a couple of years ago about spades. They play spades in the locker room.
Nice.
And he big into that game, and I interviewed him about it, and he was real skeptical. Like, where are you going with this? And plus, he doesn't like me to begin with. But he's like trying to figure out my angle as he's answering the questions, and I'm trying to tell him, like, man, I don't have an angle. I think this is interesting. I'm going to figure out my angle later. But basically, it's like I'm giving fans a glimpse into what you guys do in here. That's the angle. And once he figured out that was it, he actually got into it too, and he would explain his strategy and why he liked the game and why it was stimulating and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, you can kind of warm people up, but sometimes they'll be suspicious. Like, where the hell are you going with this?
Yeah. Because, I mean, they know that you're an intelligent dude and that you're capable of attacking a point from an angle that's unseen at the initial confrontation. And they know you to be a bit of a, contrarian.
Or when this was, because I haven't been in that locker room in a couple of years. We were shut down last year. Some people didn't know me back then. I was the guy from the Santa Rosa paper. A lot of guys were like, man, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I don't know what's going on here. This is a little weird. I don't get questions like this all the time. I'm just going to turn my back to you. Thanks.
Right.
So that's what it's like.